What's up and welcome back to another episode of Amazing or Not. So today we are going to be reviewing a tool that I've had a long time, going back to my stance days. Not so much in the stance anymore, but it does come in handy on the track car while I'm trying to fit bigger wheels and tires on. And some of you may have guessed already, but that is the Eastwood Fender roller, okay? So it's been around for a long time. It's tried and true, but I recently found on Amazon there's a knockoff for about 50 bucks. So I bought it. Now I'm gonna compare that one to the Eastwood and see how it holds up. So let's take a look. Okay, for some of you that haven't seen this before, this is the Eastwood Fender roller. This thing's been around for a long time. I think when I bought it, it was about 100 bucks, 115 bucks. Really nice construction. It's all made out of box steel, classic blue Eastwood color, and has everything you need, including a nice ball bearing rubber wheel so you don't damage your fenders that much. This tool has a lot of adjustability, including in and out to reach the fenders and any angle that you need. The Fender roller features multiple wheel patterns for any type of wheel pretty much. The Eastwood Fender roller also comes with these spacers in case you have conical lug nuts. Other than that, it's a pretty straightforward tool, and I expect the Amazon one to be just as such. What I'm not expecting is the Amazon one to have quality hardware or welds, or maybe even thinner type metal with a cheaper wheel. So let's start unboxing the Amazon one and see how it looks. Okay, so here it is all assembled. My first impressions are it is a little bit chintzier. It's definitely not as heavy. You can tell the metal is not as thick. Jack screw right here, not as quality. I don't know if it's just a cheaper zinc. Definitely lube these threads if you got this, just so you wouldn't strip it out. This set screw right here isn't as big, feels a lot cheaper. Other than that, everything looks to be pretty much the same as far as functionality. You can adjust the angle of the roller with this. This knob here will adjust in and out, and then you can adjust the angle of the whole tool by turning this. It does also come with the spacers for conical lug bolts, which is nice, and the actual wheel pattern here looks to be about the same for any universal type of wheel. So back here looks to be a little cheaper as well with this setup, but it is pretty close. The welds are not that great, as you can tell right here. And everything is just, you know, a little cheaper, which is what you would expect with a $50 tool compared to a $120 tool. Let's bring the Eastwood one up and we'll put them side by side, and I'll take some measurements and see what the thicknesses of the metal look like. Okay, here they are side by side, and right away you can tell the main box tube is a lot skinnier on this Amazon one than compared to the Eastwood one. So let's take some measurements here. And that's 2.7 millimeters compared to 4.06, so almost twice the wall thickness, which is pretty considerable. Now let's look at the main base here. These look about the same. Remember, there is powder coat on here, so it will be a little bit different. It's about 8 millimeters, and that's about 8 millimeters too. So the main frame seems about the same. The main tube here seems a little different. Let's look at where it attaches to the wheel. Looks about 9 millimeters and a little over 9, so 9.5, which could be the powder coating. It could be thicker on this. So those look the same as well. Finally, let's look at this main fork up here. It's about 3.91 or 4 millimeter. And this one's about 5 millimeter, which could be a little bit of the powder coating as well. But just visually looking at it, it does look a little bit thinner. Next, I want to show you some of the weld differences between the two. First and foremost, you can see the major weld differences on these lock nuts here. Now compared to the Eastwood. The Amazon knockoff just has one tack weld holding the nut on, while the Eastwood one is welded completely around the nuts. On the Amazon one, the main tube has welds completely around, where on the Eastwood, you only have welds on the front and back, and the sides have none, which is pretty interesting. The roller wheels appear to be pretty similar. I can't tell much of a difference between the durometer of them. They both feel pretty much the same. They both have ball bearings to help it spin. Other than that, they look pretty similar. Coming to the bottom, you can see some weld quality differences between the two. The Amazon one just looks a little sloppy, has a lot of welding slag, where the Eastwood one has a little bit better quality and fit and finish. Other than that, the tools appear to be pretty identical besides the things that we talked about. My main concern here would be the jack screw, which looks a little bit heavier on the Eastwood than it does on the Amazon one, which could cause issues of something stripping out or breaking. All in all, the Eastwood just looks like a little bit better fit and finish, but you are paying double the money for it. So if you want to take the chance on the Amazon one, and maybe you're not using this tool professionally, but only once or twice a year, it may be worth going with the Amazon one and seeing how it holds up. Unfortunately, I don't have a car to test this Amazon Fender roller on, but if you tested it in the past, please leave a comment below and tell us what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.